Hello students, I hope you all are having a great day of remote learning. I am making this video to go over the narrative writing assignment, which you can see right here on Google Classroom. Right now it is only scheduled to post on A, however it will post at the appropriate time that you are supposed to be viewing it. So for A students that will be on Thursday, September 17th, and for B students that will be on Tuesday, September 15th. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over the assignment sheet, the activity that you need to complete today. We're going to go over a couple of resources that I have posted for you that are not mandatory, however they will help you write. But first we're going to go ahead and go over our slides for this. They're pretty short, but there are just a few things on this that I would like to go over with you, and these are available to you on our Google Classroom. So we're going to go ahead and go over what is narrative writing. Narrative writing is a type of writing that tells a story. In narrative writing, a writer narrates a story or shares an experience with others. So these are different characteristics of personal narrative. Okay, a personal narrative is a story that happened to the author. This is what you guys are going to be writing this week. So small moment, the story focuses on a very small part of the writer's life. The story might be about riding a roller coaster for the first time compared to the whole vacation. So we're looking at a small moment here. There's a beginning, middle, and end to your narrative. You need to set the stage in the beginning, describe the main event, describe what happens after the main event. Okay, use transition words, which we'll go over in a minute. Include vivid details. This is something you'll be practicing in your pre-writing activity. The author includes descriptive details about the characters, settings, and events that happened. The reader should feel like they're part of the story. Dialogue. The author includes dialogue, and we'll go over how to include that in your story. Strong emotions. You need to share the emotions that you are feeling. This will help draw the reader into the story. And a meaningful ending. At the end of the story, the author has either learned an important lesson or changed in a meaningful way. So let's go over personal narratives as a pizza. So personal narratives focus on a small moment in a person's life. So personal narratives focus on a small moment in a person's life. So a pizza story, this whole pizza would be a story about moving to New NC. A slice story would be 4 years of that. And then a pepperoni story would be the job interview. So pepperoni story is the smallest part of the story. It's just a little part of the story. Personal narratives have a beginning, middle, and end, a catchy lead, lots of vivid details, transition words like first, next, last, and dialogue. All right, 3 bars is your life. So this left bar is the autobiography. Okay, that's a story about your whole life, every event. The middle bar is a memoir. That's a chunk of time, which is still multiple events. And then the right bar is a personal narrative, which is a small event, one small piece of an event. If you would like to see some examples of personal narratives, and I do recommend that you take a look at these, on the Google Docs you can click on the narratives and it'll take you to a link to those. All right, let's go ahead and go over our narrative. Actually, we're going to come back to this, our narrative assignment sheet, and we're going to come back to our narrative pre-writing activity. But I do want to talk briefly about narrative writing story order. So pay attention to how the sentences start. There's a clear beginning, middle, and end. And these words on the sheet are some transitional words that you can use in your story. So make sure you take a look at those. Plot diagram. You guys don't have a binder, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. But this is what a story should look like, okay? An exposition. That is the beginning of the story where the characters and setting are introduced. The rising action is where the main character faces a series of conflicts. The climax is the most exciting part of the story where we learn the outcome. The falling action are the events leading to the end of the story, and the resolution is the end of the story. We'll talk briefly about a couple more things here. Hooks. A hook is the start of your story. The first few words or sentences should be engaging and intriguing to keep your readers entertained. Here are some examples of hooks. A question hook is kind of like the most basic form. A dialogue hook goes straight into someone talking. Strong emotion appeals to the reader's emotional side. Sound words like crack, boom, bang, those are a good way to hook a reader. And then setting, a really great description of the setting is a good way to hook a reader. How to include dialogue in your story. Okay, here are some examples for you. Each new speaker should get their own paragraph that's indented. Take a look at my examples for commas and quotes. Okay, and then some other speaking words. These are a couple of resources that are going to be available to you. Proper way to type a narrative: when you go to type it, use Google Docs, title your document narrative, and then your last name. Make sure your document has 1-inch margins, Times New Roman font with double-spaced lines, and your heading should look like this. So please let me know if you have any questions with that. And then to finish us up here, said is dead. Use more exciting words instead. Word choice is extremely important when you are writing. So here are some really great alternatives for saying said, like exclaimed, demanded, shrieked, and other words for good. So use a thesaurus. You don't want to be using really basic words like good, pretty, fun, bad. Okay, use some of these other really more descriptive words. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to our Google Classroom. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the assignment sheet, and then we'll look at the rubric. So here's our assignment sheet. It says at the top, personal narratives allow you to share your life and beliefs with others. Your job as a writer is to put the reader in the midst of the action, letting him or her live an experience. Although a great deal of writing has a thesis, stories are different. A good story helps the reader feel the emotion of the author. So directions: using the prompt below, you are going to write a narrative where you tell a story that is personal to you. You've got 5 prompts here. Prompt 1, what was your most precious childhood possession, and how did you get this possession, and what memories do you have with it? What event comes to mind when you think about this cherished possession? So maybe look more closely at the event. Prompt 2, your family celebrates special events such as birthdays, holidays, or other special events. Choose one event and write a story about it. Prompt 3, who are your role models? Tell a story about a time your role model did something that showed you their kindness and good qualities. Prompt 4, think about a time you were surprised about something that happened to you. It could be a happy surprise or a disappointment. Write about the event. And prompt 5, throughout your time in school, you have been on many field trips. Choose one and tell a story about what happened on that trip. So all of these prompts are looking at specific events. Okay, make sure you are being specific and descriptive. Requirements: type your paper on a Google Doc. You'll turn it into Google Classroom. Your paper should be double-spaced, Times New Roman, size 12 font, 1-inch margins, and narrative length. For English 1 students, you should have minimum 1 page typed, maximum 3 pages. For Honors English 1, you should have minimum 2 pages and maximum 4 pages. Since this is our first writing assignment, it's going to be quite a bit shorter than our other writing assignments. All right, I'm going to go back to our Google Classroom and take a look at the rubric. And I'm just going to be looking at what you need to do to earn all 4 points and clearly meet the standard. So address the prompt. Students clearly address the writing prompt. Student focuses on one specific event, not a series of events in their narrative writing. So in order to earn all 4 points, you need to do this. Plot line. You provide a thoroughly developed plot line, include major and minor characters in a definite setting. Be descriptive with those things, okay? Consistent point of view and focus. Maintain a consistent point of view, focus, and organizational structure. Focus on paragraphs, okay? Your whole essay shouldn't be one big paragraph. Grammar conventions. Make sure you proofread. Contains few, if any, errors and conventions of the English language. Examples: grammar, punctuation, capitalization, and spelling. These errors do not interfere with the reader's understanding of the writing. Sentence structure includes a variety of sentence structures. Okay, use conjunctions. Ability to follow directions. Narrative is typed in MLA format, 12-point font, Times New Roman, 1-inch margin. Student reaches the required page length. So in order to do all of those things and earn 4 points, read the rubric. And then possible points for narrative, you can earn a maximum of 24 points. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our Google Classroom. I'm going to go briefly over some resources that I have available to you. First, I have the Burger Writing Template. If you need a reminder on how to do a paragraph, okay, every paragraph should start with a topic sentence. Then you move into detail 1, detail 2, detail 3, and a concluding statement. Each paragraph should be minimum 4 sentences, okay, but aim for 5 to 6 for each paragraph. And then I also have an organizer available for you. This is just going to help you kind of get down your event that you're covering. So setting, people, problem or goal, event, resolution, and end. And over here there are just some boxes to help you kind of organize your thoughts. So these are available to you on our Google Classroom. And we're going to go ahead and go over our pre-writing activity. All right, directions. One of the goals in your personal narrative is to leave the reader with an emotional connection to the story. In order to do this, your writing needs to be descriptive and specific, and then the reader feels as if they're part of the action. Please complete the questions so you can collect some specific details before you begin drafting. So, question 1, what event will you be describing? You can type directly on this document. Question 2, why is this event important to you? Question 3, what did you learn about yourself or others from this event? Question 4, what lessons did you learn about life in general? And question 5, how did you change as a result of this event? All right, down here is just a little chart to help you work on your descriptive words. So objects you see when you remember this event, colors you remember, and sounds you associate with this memory. These can go along with setting as well. All right, please email me if you have any questions. Get your pre-writing activity turned in. We will have class time to work on this on Friday, September 18th. So please email me if you have any questions, and have a good day.